We haven't done a podcast in months.
In a very long time.
Yeah.
And a lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot.
We moved to Wisconsin. We are the new, well, Mark is the new executive director at the Overflowing Cup in Beloit. And that's new.
That's new. You're a pastor's wife once again.
Wow.
That's not new, but it's certainly fun to watch.
It's an interesting place to be. Well, in the community where we lived before, it was different because that's where I lived in my addiction. The people that I knew there, many of them from the bar where I bartended locally, well, it was just a different situation. Now I'm the pastor's wife. I pray a lot that God will keep one hand over my shoulder and the other one firmly over my mouth. Mm-hmm. A lot.
I think a big difference is when I was pastoring in Tucson, I never told anybody that you had addiction issues. You were in the middle of them. I didn't talk about it. I didn't tell anybody. You didn't tell anybody. So there was always this big secret.
It was a weird open secret because somehow people knew.
Right. Well, yeah. As stealthy as people with addictions think they're being, really.
So not.
Yeah. People can tell.
You can tell.
Yeah. So here, you're actually part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Right.
I love you, dear.
That's so funny. Right. And now I'm running a recovery situation.
You sound so hesitant.
Well, because I'm not sure what it is. It's not like a class, really. It's more like a group. It's not one of the A's.
Yeah, not one of the
anonymouses. But like myself and one or two other people that are there are even addicted. It seems like every other person that's there has other situations going on.
Yeah, it's more about life issues and overcoming how life can knock the crap out of you.
Right, and just trying to get
addiction.
A different perspective on yourself and the people around you.
Yeah, which is funny because to me, that's what church should be.
Right?
and yet we have to start a separate group to deal with damaged people. When Jesus said that he didn't come for those who are well, he came for those who are sick. You know, those who are well don't need a doctor.
True.
It's funny how we subdivided. We have the good sheep, the good people over here, and the broken people over here. And I'm just used to sort of being right in the dead center of all the broken people and feeling darn good about how well I'm doing.
Right? It's such a weird place to be. I don't know. It's just a strange new world. Everything changes so rapidly, and every day is a new adventure.
Yeah. And the ministry itself isn't a church. Even though I'm pastoring, it's not a church. It's a ministry. Very much a street ministry, very much a ministry to those who are hurting, those who maybe don't have it all together, and don't pretend to have it all together. And then on top of that, there's Christian concerts and music. So I'm surrounded by music, I'm surrounded by arts, I'm surrounded by beauty, and I'm surrounded by devastation, all at the same time in the same place, and it's beautifully chaotic.
It is. It's really great. It's a nice balance, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. As the founding pastor's wife says, we're gap fillers. You know,
right.
we're standing in that awkward spot that maybe churches don't cover, and maybe social organizations don't cover, and maybe the family isn't covering. It's a wonderful, if not slightly uncomfortable place to be.
You know what? It's not any more or less uncomfortable than any other place we've ever been.
Yeah,
we just have to adjust our comfort situation, because what was comfortable to us before has changed greatly.
Yeah, yeah.
We lived in a tent for 3 months.
We did. Yeah, proudly.
Happily,
Obviously.
too. It was wonderful. We had a great
Yeah.
time.
In order to make this all come together, that was just something that we. It wasn't like we were punishing ourselves. We just knew what it was going to take to make this transition, and so that's how we did it. It's nice, and I'm not broke. I am financially challenged, but I'm not poor. Never been poor. So don't feel sorry for us about living in a tent, because it was actually kind of fun most of the time.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
We sat through 3 tornado warnings in the middle of the night, and we could hear the big sirens going off. There's something that those of us from Arizona had never experienced before. Boy, were we surprised. That's a tornado. Tyven looked at me and said, "Really, Mom? Really? We're not going to go inside or something?" I said, "Tornado, schmornado. What, do you want to live forever?"
Nice.
And I just laughed because that's how I roll. And I was like, "Come on, it'll be kind of fun. It'll be like being inside a real live kite. Like one of those big square
Yeah,
Chinese
it's great
kites."
till you land.
Yeah. Well, what you said at the time was that's all fun and games until you get hit by a cow. That's a terrible thought. That would hurt so bad.
I spent most of my life in Midwestern farm countries, so everything comes back to cows and corn and cheese and milk and beer and brats and yeah. I have the whole northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin experience.
So we started this podcast and called it New Beginnings, and then all of a sudden
We had a new beginning.
we had a whole bunch of new beginnings.
Yeah.
The whole world just opened up.
Just a shit ton of new beginnings.
Is it a metric shit ton?
Metric shit ton, yeah. It's a little less.
It's a technical term, isn't it?
Yeah, those darn Europeans.
Yeah.
Oh, well.